Coming up on Evening Edition, reactions to Governor Pritzker's graduated income tax. Plus, we have updates on multiple river floodings and what a new ID means for Illinois residents. Live from Southern Illinois University, you're watching River Region Evening Edition.
Governor J.B. Pritzker has proposed a plan for Illinois to become a graduated income tax state. Good evening, I'm Hannah Frisch.
And I'm Jacob Gordon. The Paul Simon Public Policy Institute conducted a poll sampling 1,000 registered voters in Illinois. Evening Edition Samantha Soto spoke with poll director John Jackson on what he thinks this idea could bring to Illinois.
Governor J.B. Pritzker has proposed a plan for Illinois to become a graduated income tax state. The Paul Simon Public Policy Institute conducted a poll sampling 1,000 registered voters in Illinois. Poll director John S. Jackson explains the governor's proposal.
We are one of the few states that has what's called a flat tax. Everybody at the individual level pays 4.95%. And that's unusual because both the federal government and most of the states have a graduated or progressive income tax.
Taxes range from just 3 to 9% in other states. The proposal is popular among many voters, with 67% in favor to 31% being opposed. In addition to the graduated income tax, Pritzker believes the legalization of recreational marijuana would benefit Illinois' economy.
People have widely accepted it. The question we ask is, do you favor legalizing, regulating, and taxing marijuana like you do liquor and tobacco? And that analogy is an apt one. That's what other states are doing.
The Supreme Court has recently made the decision to legalize sports gambling, with New Jersey being the first.
Again, the governor wants to do this to regulate and to take the tax toll off rather than letting these offshore companies.
Jackson shares his thoughts on what the governor's plan means for Illinois.
Well, I think it will stabilize the revenue system. We have a terrible problem with what's called a structural deficit. That is, we're spending more than we're taking in, and we've been doing that ever since the turn of the 21st century. And so the governor wants to do something about that, and I think this is a viable option.
For Evening Edition, I'm Samantha Soto.
The SAU Board of Trustees met in Springfield this morning for their executive session. Items on the agenda included the search for a new assistant president and the nursing program in Carbondale. The end of the meeting was closed to the public. Tomorrow, the board will discuss items including basketball coach Brian Mullen's salary and the remodel of True Blood Dining Hall. We'll have more on the entire meeting tomorrow night on Late Edition.
Well, Jacob, the weather was beautiful today, and it was a really good day to spend it outside.
It definitely was, Hannah. It was a great day to go out and take a drive around the countryside for sure. Madeline Parker is here now with the first look at weather. Madeline, can we expect to see the sunshine stick around the rest of the week?
Well, Jacob, I'm really sorry, but we are going to be seeing some clouds roll in tonight. Tonight it's going to be at 48 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow morning it's going to be strictly cloudy with 47 degrees. And around midday it is going to be warm, around 60 degrees, but we are still going to be seeing a lot of clouds in the area. But we are going to be seeing some cooler temperatures coming into the river region, and we might even be seeing some thunderstorms, but I'll tell you more about that in my 5-day forecast.
All right, Madeline, thanks. Secretary of State Jesse White says Illinoisans can now apply for the Real ID card. The Real ID, signified by the gold star in the right-hand corner, will be needed to board a domestic flight or enter a secure federal facility starting in October of 2020. But Secretary White says you don't have to get it.
I encourage residents to know their options and to make the right choice for them. We are asking applicants to be patient when they go into one of my facilities to apply for the Real ID.
White urges people to make the best choice for themselves and to visit the website realid.ilsos.gov for a comparison chart and further details.
Flooding along the Mississippi River is still on the rise, but floodwaters along the Ohio River are starting to recede. The Mississippi River at Cape Girardeau is expected to rise to 40 feet by Saturday, 8 feet above flood stage. If the river reaches 42 feet, several homes and structures in southern Cape Girardeau County may be inundated or cut off due to the backwater flooding from the diversion channel, meaning evacuations may be required. Thousands of acres are already flooded, and a number of roads are closed both along the Mississippi River and due to to backwater flooding. The Ohio River at Cairo is down about 45 feet, 5 feet above flood stage. It should fall below flood stage by April 5th. And Education Secretary Betsy DeVos has put forward a proposal that would cut funds from Special Olympics, after-school programs, and support low-income families. These cuts would result in a 12% overall decrease in funding for the Education Department for the 2020 fiscal year. The Special Olympics says that they look forward to continuing to raise awareness among U.S. government officials about the important work that Special Olympics is doing in the United States and around the world. The proposed budget is unlikely to make it through Congress.
The new federal ban on bump stocks goes into effect Tuesday. Bump stocks are gun attachments that allow shooters to fire semi-automatic rifles continuously with only one pull of the trigger. Back in December, the Justice Department issued a ruling that declared an existing ban on fully automatic weapons would also apply to bump stocks. The ruling gave owners 90 days to turn their bump stocks in or destroy them. That 90-day period ends Tuesday. Civilians have been barred from owning fully automatic weapons since 1986, except for those that were already lawfully owned. And the Missouri House approved a bill allowing schools to offer a course studying religious texts like the Bible, the Quran, or the Book of Mormon. Buddhist Reverend and President of the Capital Area Interfaith Alliance, William Edwards, says the religion has no place in schools. The bill has said the course would teach the history and context of religious texts. A representative who decided to co-sponsor the bill this week says the course is an elective, which helps the state not cross the line. The bill is now in the hands of the state Senate.
Ahead on Evening Edition, more drama surrounds Brexit just days before it takes action.
Plus, a look into why some survivors of national tragedies are taking their lives. You're watching Evening Edition at 5. Critical fix. In the wake of the two deadly plane crashes, Boeing unveiled an overhaul to the software system of a 737 MAX aircraft.
It's the most direct attempt to fix an element of the plane's original design that investigators believe led to the recent disasters. This is as lawmakers scrutinize the relationship between Boeing and the federal government. Omar Jimenez explains.
We need to understand exactly what happened.
On Capitol Hill, there are growing questions about why the FAA didn't immediately ground Boeing's 737 MAX 8 planes in the wake of two crashes that killed more than 300 people combined.
These questions, when they arise, if they arise, are troubling because we should have absolute confidence in the regulators that they are certifying properly.
The agency claims it wasn't seeing any systemic performance issues.
You know, the FAA is a very professional, fact-based organization, and they don't make decisions that are too hasty.
But they're decisions that are oftentimes made in conjunction with the manufacturer. The official causes of the crashes are still being determined, but the focus has been on an automatic safety feature that may have incorrectly forced the nose of each plane to dip. The company continues to insist their 737 MAX planes are safe and is set to implement a software fix and enhanced training for pilots.
We're working with customers and regulators around the world to restore faith in our industry and also to reaffirm our commitment to safety and to earning the trust of the flying public.
Boeing plans to submit their final compliance documents for the software update to the FAA by the end of the week. In Washington, I'm Omar Jimenez.
The man who killed a woman with his car during a white nationalist rally in 2017 is pleading guilty to hate crimes. James Ailfields Jr. was convicted in December of first-degree murder of Heather Heyer. A plea agreement was reached to avoid the death penalty, in which Fields was convicted on 29 of his 30 counts today. The jury in his December conviction recommended Fields serve life in prison plus 419 years. And NASA's first all-female spacewalk was canceled yesterday due to a lack of suits. The problem comes from not having enough size medium spacesuits on board. Anne McClain and Christina Koch were scheduled to change some of the batteries on the International Space Station. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton responded in a tweet to the story saying, "Make another suit. The walk has not been rescheduled." And UK Prime Minister Theresa May has said that she will stand down as Prime Minister once Brexit has been delivered. According to a Conservative Party lawmaker meeting with her, May stated that she will not be in charge for the next phase. She did not give a date for her departure. Those details come from Conservative Party lawmaker Simon Hart. Hart also told CNN, quote, "The implication was if she gets her deal through, that will kickstart the process to find a new leader almost immediately."
Officials at Pennsylvania's Temple University are coping with the mumps outbreak. City officials say as of this afternoon, there are 105 cases. 18 of those cases have been confirmed. A balance of 87 remains probable based on the symptoms. Mass vaccination clinics are set for today and Friday on campus. Health officials say close to 1,000 people have already received booster shots. Thousands of students have signed an online petition asking officials to temporarily close the university amid the outbreak. And a ban on unvaccinated minors in public places has been implemented to help the measles issues in New York. Rockland County has declared a state of emergency with the outbreak that is taking over the community. More than 150 cases have been confirmed in the county, and leaders are hoping this ban shows how serious they are about containing the outbreak. The apparent suicides in Parkland, Florida and Newtown, Connecticut are drawing a focus to long-term psychological impacts of trauma.
The stigma around suicide can be difficult to navigate, but as Meredith Wood reports, it begins with communication.
The period after a traumatic loss is marked by a series of cruel questions.
What more could I have done? And why did this happen? And maybe even, why not me?
And while time does help some, it can make others feel worse.
They begin to feel more alone and feel unsupported and feel like they don't have permission to talk about it.
The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline provides a list of warning signs to help identify if a loved one is at risk. Among them, reckless behavior, irregular sleeping, and extreme mood swings. Suicides can also cluster in communities. The solution begins with providing healthier models of behavior.
What we really need to see more of and give more contact for people is our peers who have gone through these situations, essentially who found ways to cope through seemingly the impossible.
Communication and empathy are key to helping people at risk feel less alone.
Any measure of pain is more tolerable if we're sharing it with somebody else.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
In consumer news, Verizon has released a new tool aimed at filtering automated robocalls. The free service will display a scam alert to notify customers that the call is likely a fraudulent source, and some of these calls will even be blocked. Verizon officials say more than 300 million spam and robocall numbers have been collected, but the services often use fake numbers, so the list is always growing. Landline phones will also have access to protection services through caller ID. And someone might become a multi-millionaire tonight. The Powerball jackpot is now a whopping $750 million. This is the fourth highest prize in U.S. lottery has ever seen. If you won and took the cash option, you could go home with around $465.5 million. The jackpot is planned to go up with the amount of ticket buyers.
That's a lot of money. Make sure I'll get my ticket after the show tonight.
Me too.
Most of the river region saw clear skies today, but how long is that sunshine going to stick around? Madeline has a check your forecast next.
But first on Wall Street, stocks ended the day with negative results. The nightly business report has more coming up next at 5:30.
Welcome back to River Region Evening Edition. Here is a viewer photo sent in by River Region's own Jacob Gordon. If you have a viewer photo you would like to send in, please send it to our Facebook or Twitter at River Region News. As you can see, it was a beautiful day with mostly sunny skies. We do have a few wispy clouds in there. 62 degrees is the temperature right now. Our dew point is at 29. 30% humidity, so it was nice and not really that damp outside. So it was really nice. We have a 10-mile-per-hour wind from the south, and our barometer reads 30.27. For our almanac today, we can see that our average is 61 degrees. So today was only 1 degree higher than our average of 61. Our average low is 38 degrees. With our temperature for today is 46. For our record high, we did not reach that record of 87 degrees set in 1910, nor did we reach record low of 17 set in 1955. Now for the temperatures around the region, we can see that it was in the 60s for most of the region. Waterloo is the warmest at 65 with partly cloudy skies. Marion's at 61 with partly cloudy skies. Cape Girardeau is at 61 as well with partly cloudy skies. Evansville is bright and sunny with 60 degrees. and Paducah is at 62 with partly cloudy skies. Now for the national temperatures, we can see that it was starting to warm up. We are in the green here, which means we're in the mid-50s into the 60s, while some people are even going into the 70s, going in lower to the south. We have a little bit of orange here, which indicates mid-70 degree temperatures. But if we can look at our surface map, we can see why that's happening. We do have a lot of rain that could be coming into the area, but we also have a cool front that could be making its way into our area within the next coming days, which will be bringing in some cooler temperatures, which we will be seeing later on in the forecast. But for tonight, we can see that it's going to be 46 degrees for the low with partly cloudy skies. We have a 7-mile-per-hour wind from the southwest, and the sun is setting at 7:14 p.m. Now for the bus stop forecast. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be mostly cloudy skies with 48 degrees for the temperature. Is going to be an 8-mile-per-hour wind from the southwest. But tomorrow, we'll be seeing that the temperatures will be warming up to about 67 degrees. We have some cloudy skies with some slight chance of showers that we'll be seeing throughout the day. It will be pretty windy, going up to 20 miles per hour sometimes. They'll be starting at 13 miles per hour from the southwest, and the sun is rising at 6:48 a.m. Now tomorrow night is going to be dropping down, and those slight chance of showers is going to be turning on into rain. We'll be having some 8-mile-per-hour winds from the southwest, and the sun will be setting at 7:15 p.m. Now for our 5-day outlook, we can see that it's going to be 67 on Thursday, as I said. Now Friday, we might be seeing some thunderstorms in the morning, but they should be stopping around midday. 63 for the high. Saturday will be 59, dropping down a little bit. Again, with those thunderstorms all day. Sunday will be nice and sunny, but our temperature is going to continue to drop down to 49 degrees. And on Monday, we'll have some partly cloudy skies, and the temperature is only going to be going up to 54 degrees. So while we are going to be seeing some warmer temperatures, they're starting to drop down a little bit, and we're going to be seeing some more rain.
Cool. At least we're going to see some sunshine before the rain and after the rain, too.
And speaking of sunshine, thank you for going to get that viewer photo for us today.
Oh, stop. Thanks, Madeline.
And now here's Jordan Smearman with a preview of what's coming up next in sports. Jordan.
Well, Saluki softball is playing right now in Charlotte West Stadium, and Saluki baseball won again. You're watching River Region Evening Edition on WSIU. Another midweek showdown netted another win for the Salukis. The Salukis cashed in on a plethora of Bruin errors to build up an 8-1 lead that looked dicey after Belmont scored 3 runs in the 8th. But the Dogs held on to win 10-4 and finished off a home-and-home sweep of the Bruins. SIU is on the road this weekend, traveling to Indianapolis to take on Butler. And Saluki softball is entrenched in their own midweek showdown, taking on the Tennessee Martin Skyhawks. The game started just about an hour ago, and the update is in the bottom of the 5th, with Salukis winning 5-2. Salukis have their first weekend conference test facing Illinois State. And after the NFC Championship game ended in one of the most controversial no calls in NFL history, the NFL has announced a major rule change. Commissioner Roger Goodell says the rule isn't permanent, but could become permanent depending on how it goes this season.
What the rule does is it puts OPI and DPI into our replay system with no change. So the system is exactly the same, but OPI and DPI are now reviewable. And that includes when a flag or no flag. We've never done that before.
And former Miami Heat superstar Chris Bosh received a major honor at halftime during last night's game. Bosh got his jersey retired, becoming the 4th player in Heat history to have their jersey retired. He joins Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway, and Shaquille O'Neal. Bosh won 2 NBA titles with the Heat into the 2012-2013 season and was an 11-time All-Star from 2006 to 2016. And only one perfect bracket remains after 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament, and the man with the perfect bracket almost didn't fill it out. In an interview with CNN's Brooke Baldwin, Ohio neuropsychologist Greg Nigel said he almost missed out on filling out one after getting sick the week of. But now that he did, he said the experience has been unforgettable.
It's been surreal. My phone has been ringing off the hook. I mean, I feel it ringing in my pocket right now, so I'm just getting text messages and emails and people calling, and it's been wild.
Sweet 16 tips off tomorrow with Gonzaga and Florida State. Now, sadly, I've filled out all my brackets. None of them have been perfect.
So, not to brag, but I'm in 2nd place for our River Region one.
I know,
so
I
I'm
know.
hoping that I can continue on.
I mean, I'm in 5th right now, but I think I could still
Jordan
beat you.
and I are nicely nestled right in the middle of the pack, and I am completely content with
but
that.
We're coming for you, just so you know.
I have a feeling that after this weekend, everybody will be coming for me. So, but hey, it's fine.
Just look out.
All right, thanks, Jordan.
Will the rain showers be returning to the river region? Madeline has a final check of the forecast next.
But first, as we head to break, be sure to follow us on social media at River Region News and check out our website for more local content. We'll be right back.
Finally tonight, the last Wednesday of March is Manatee Appreciation Day, an opportunity to honor these gentle giants.
Manatees, also known as sea cows, are relatives of the elephant. They aren't the cutest animals, but it's thought that sailors hundreds of years ago thought manatees were mermaids. Manatees have no natural enemies. They live in warm Florida waters during the winter and migrate north and west during the summer months and can live up to be 40 years old. What a life. That would be like awesome for me just to move down to Florida for like the winter and spend some time in the water, then come back up here afterwards.
You know, Jacob, you said that they aren't the cutest animals. I think they're absolutely adorable.
Unpopular opinion, manatees are, especially like they're little babies too. Have you ever seen like a Facebook video of a little baby manatee before?
They're adorable.
I only watched the ones of the baby giraffe because it seems like that's all
Well,
that's
next time
on.
look out for the manatees.
Okay, I
Definitely
will.
look out for the
All
manatees.
right, well, speaking of the weather, how are we looking for the rest of the week?
Well, actually, we're going to have some bad news because we have some thunderstorms coming in. Friday, we're going to have some thunderstorms and 63 degrees for the high. Saturday is going to be 59 with, again, thunderstorms, but Sunday is going to cool off about 49 degrees with some sunshine, and on Monday, it's going to be up to 54 degrees with some partly cloudy skies, so it's not looking too bad.
Not to brag, but I'm pretty sure I took that picture too on your 7th date. It's very moving.
It is very moving indeed. Yes,
Well,
it
also
is.
what I saw with the rain and stuff, it's a good thing that we don't have any baseball or softball games
true.
this weekend because of all that rain too. So it's gonna be very good.
You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, thanks guys.
And thank you for joining us tonight. The Nightly Business Report is next. I'm Hannah Frisch.
And I'm Jacob Gordon from Alan Parker, Jordan Smearman, and all the students who work here on Evening Edition. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.